or this other thing. There was all this extra drama between the two, but the India squad of GODLIKE were all about playing for themselves. We've got GODLIKE out of India, Wolves out of China, and we're into Takeoff Map 1 Grand Finals, COD Mobile World Championships one more time. Let's get it on.
Takeoff played one time for Wolves, and what we just got to see, it was a close affair versus Q9 earlier, but they got the job done. This is such a good map set for GODLIKE. If they can win this first map, like we already talked about, you have to try to survive to make it to the end of the best of 7.
Really solid start, just kind of 50-50 over the top of the hard point. Everyone kind of getting a feel for one another. Again, the statistics on this map should firmly favor that of GODLIKE based on how they've played it so far this week. In only a single instance we've seen Wolves. But the thing about this map too is if the SMGs can get hot early for Wolves, they could really become a problem. 16 plays 7. Lots of focus over towards rotation. Good kills for Wolves on the exits. That will establish them control the left side of the map as we look over towards the bottom part towards P2.
10 seconds remain here for P1, and as you say, the rotation towards new is what's immediately focused for Wolves just about 10 seconds ago. They've been having players anchor out inside of P2 already, but not blocking the spawns for P2. The biggest issue for GODLIKE is that the positional advantage for Wolves has some split spawning across the map.
Yeah, with the Predator missile, it makes things a little bit more comfortable here for Wolves on rotation. Abiz does find a handful of kills. That's 3 in a row for him. That keeps the hard point at least more contestable from GODLIKE trying to break from the front. Long route being hit by King, number 4 in yellow. He's just trying to shut down the window play, but GODLIKE are all in from the front. They climb the scaffolding, they get in, they find some time to contest. Follow-up from Neon, able to at least shut down a couple of members, but you can see the Wolves members have to have their heads on a swivel as GODLIKE is swarming the hard point, just not able to find the kills to fully get in. Abiz again, though, becomes a catalyst, opening the door, and one more player to find. Prevail will get the kill, and there will be GODLIKE finding their first significant amount of time.
It's a big 25 seconds to have for yourself if you are GODLIKE, and I gotta say, heads-up play still spawning out for them. While the hard point was still active, trying to cut off the reinforcements for Wolves that were spawning effectively in for P2. That said, Wolves still have close respawns. They're trying to hit through the old time, given that GODLIKE are trying to set themselves up for the first money hill, which is P3.
Yeah, timing here actually favors Wolves, not only because they're able to get this exit, but with as much time as left in the hard point, they can still make moves across the middle map, and the kills are coming through. Neon, like we framed up, a big double backside red. That will establish some control as far as how Wolves want to try to find an entryway in towards this third hard point, and they're going to have operators to help establish this control on top of it. King, good shots with Peg, able to take down more GODLIKE members, and it's getting a little bit out of hand here for GODLIKE. Have to slow things down, have to find some sort of a hit and set up together, because at the moment it's feeling very individual. Neutrino only getting 1 for a War Machine, and Wolves are off to the races.
P3 is where we're going to see a lot of these operators come out and have to find immediate effect. As you said, you want realistically to be able to find a whole lot more when you do pop out that War Machine, but I mean, Wolves, as far as effective usage for their operators, coming out on top. You still have Lurns, operators, should you want to use it. Same can be said for Pegs on the opposite side, but it seems that we're going to try to get the job done the hard way as an Annihilator gets popped by Lurn, immediately shut down.
It's getting a little jittery right now for GODLIKE. A couple of good moments here and there in the kill feed, but it's not really amounting to significant time. Wolves definitely holding the edge in terms of how this map is trending towards their direction. 83 plays 37. Couple of extra seconds here at the end. At GODLIKE, I will say early, you need to find this rotation right here to P4. Get yourself back into this game. Learn with a Vortex gun. Gonna try to choke off these entry points around the side doors. Well done, able to find a couple. Then following up, Prevail. He's been good with the equalizers so far, and it looks like GODLIKE have a pretty good read here as far as where Wolves are spawning. There's only one out. King could possibly play a pitcher, but he gets taken down, and now GODLIKE have full control of P4.
Well, luckily enough, especially for Trunks, whether or not he was able to at least see a player spawn on the north side of the map was definitely helpful. Prevail still has an equalizer. 42 bullets left, and they're sliding on in. Lurn gonna end up using his Hunter-Killer drone to at least clear the space. Furthermore, Prevail utilizing the Predator missile is keeping all these players at bay. It needs to be stressed. You needed the majority of this time if you are GODLIKE before that got out of hand in the first set.
And they absolutely provide brilliant usage of the operators. Now the last hit coming out from Wolves, all of it from the front doors. What? How does King get 3? That's enough to allow Sheen to get in. Can he find the final kills? Abiz, oh, what a double! Saw it from the victim's perspective, but it's impressive nonetheless, getting 2 on the slide. And GODLIKE, they've arrived into map number 1 and take their first lead.
I mean, barring King just sliding in, somehow finding a triple, GODLIKE turn P4 into a damn near full 60. That flips the lead, albeit by 8. Going in towards the second set, see where GODLIKE are currently positioned on the map. Still so much that has to be done. Operators in the back pocket for Wolves, 2 players strong, EMP system on the way for Prevail should he want to use it.
Really good stuff coming out of Abiz to keep his team in it. We said that a lot during the Hacienda map number 1. when they had played in their previous series, and he's doing it here once again. Abiz taken down. Little caster curse there as Wolves able to find themselves 3 straight eliminations, and now right back into the hard point go Chinese's team's best. Opportunity for GODLIKE still to try to make things mixy from the high ground, but Wolves now have full control of the 2 different points of areas that you want here over the top of P1. High ground control, super pivotal, and Wolves have a chance to soak up a majority of this back 20 seconds.
It was right around this time in the first set that Wolves really started to sink their teeth into GODLIKE. They have the close spawns for P2, keeping P1 contested. 10 seconds still remain as far as P1 is concerned, and GODLIKE are trying to send players in from the staircase on their side of the map. A spawn out does occur. You have one player, that's Abiz, that effectively spawns in for P2, but wonderfully scouted out by Peg, shutting things down before the rotation towards New.
But Trunks is able to kind of step into where he had left off, and GODLIKE will have a chance to make this mixy on rotation. Keeping an eye on Neutrino. War Machine gets popped. This is almost a solo play from him. His teammates are starting to flood in from window side, and he's going to have Wolves almost spawn trapped here in the back. The help is here for GODLIKE. Can Wolves get out of this?
Wow.
So much explosion happening in their spawn. We've got Gravity Vortex guns, Sparrows, War Machines, the kitchen sink, if you will. And Neutrino's going to continue to lock it down with an AR. A brilliant moment here for GODLIKE, and it forces the hand of Wolves to have to use something to try to crack this code.
Now it really starts to make your head scratch if you are Wolves. With the amount of time you contested for P1, you played for the future over by P2. But all of the operator usage was so good from GODLIKE, and now they have to close spawns to try to reinforce for the scrap time. Wolves feel like they're threatened to probably use some of their operators themselves, should they want to do so. But you just have to try to keep this contested for about 10 seconds and hold the rotation towards New. But so much easier said than done.
GODLIKE are taking their attention over towards the top side of the minimap, rotating through red, trying to get in the back doors of this third hard point. Neutrino does have the Predator missile, doesn't quite land for much as Wolves will cleanly exit away from the second hard point and make their way towards mid-map. It'll be a fight, 50-50, as the hard point opens up. Peg from the front could really change things up with the Purifier if he wants to pop it here, but instead just trust the SMG and Neutrino will meet him. Prevail also getting involved. GODLIKE 2 for 1 on the kill feed, and it's clean immediately afterwards. GODLIKE able to step into the third for some time early.
But they're all kind of trapped inside the hard point. That's a great read to take down Neon from Trunks to make sure that at least they have an exit going over towards the courtyard. 40 seconds remain here on P3, and Wolves are setting themselves up for a little bit of a pinch. Prevail, gonna pull out an equalizer, immediately shut down. It's the Claw that comes out to play for Zai. He's been good with this the entire weekend.
Not be just by himself, he gets completely isolated. Abiz able to catch him by surprise, and GODLIKE starting to grow their lead. Trunks on the outside, gets a good read of the spawns, and a clean kill feed again for GODLIKE. Neon and Shing, last players left alive, trying to find a way to flush out these remaining GODLIKE members, but are unable to do so. Trunks will have the last word, and GODLIKE now grow a major cushion, 165 to 113, and heading towards rotation again.
And P4 is where they got themselves about a full 60 in the first set, Alan, so now you have to really feel the sweat dripping down your back if you are Wolves. You have to break this early, whatever means necessary. Neutrino with the War Machine up top is watching these players kind of waltz right in front of them but get shut down.
Zai on the ledge just completely avoids the launcher of the War Machine. Trunks getting to work, pinching things up through mid-map on 3 in a row. Turn and burn almost. Shing able to shut him down, but GODLIKE in the hard point for now. Neutrino following up. Wolves still with numbers, forcing their way in the hard way. Trunks beats it with the claw and a nade combination. That'll be good for 3. GODLIKE with the numbers, and they have a perfect read on where Wolves are trying to hit this from. Oh, it's been clean so far from GODLIKE ever since we were here in the last rotation through, and they very well, they find themselves over the 200-point mark on this hill.
Operator usage is an absolute chef's kiss out from GODLIKE. Reacting to when Wolves ever try to utilize theirs. Trying to do it the hard way for the back 15 seconds. You feel like you need all of that, plus the majority of time on P1, plus the rotation towards New. It's a 70-point lead, give or take, that GODLIKE currently hold over Wolves' head.
And Wolves feel like they have to fight for every final second here. No reason not to. Spawns will be just over toward the left side of the map. Looking to fight for the high ground. Neutrino. Big gunfight went on to King. Holds on to one of the 3 major corners you're looking for, and oh my goodness, Lorne is snapping. And he's not done until King comes off spawn and finally bests him. GODLIKE still in the hard point. Over the 200-point threshold they go. Wolves struggling to find any sort of a footing since the first rotation to hard points, really since the first 3 hills, if we're being super specific, and that continues to be the case. GODLIKE ripping them apart.
2-11, counting on up, 35 seconds left to be soaked here at P1. Trunks has 45 kills. He's leading the entire lobby. Comparatively to the opposite side, your usual suspects aren't showing up. Peg is at an uncharacteristic 26 kills. Where is the slaying god for Wolves?
Bees is also just kind of floating from kill to kill. Pred missile called in. Godlike able to step closer towards getting themselves in that first map win column. Trunks, good double out of him. Finally put down by Xing, and Wolves will follow up. Okay, moment of control here. Clean kill feed leads to Wolves being able to soak up the scrap and make moves over towards New. Can they win the gunfights, though? That seems to have been the problems for the last 5 minutes of this map, and Godlike are going to rip them apart. Blue in the kill feed again, and with that, Abiz may put this out of reach with the Sparrow. Looking good for it as Wolves will spawn back over towards the left-handed side, and Godlike have every bit of awareness that this is happening.
But they're walking into Trunks, who also pulls out the Claw, finds himself too, forces King to pull out the Sparrow of his own. You have to shut down these operators and somehow contest the time, because Godlike are so keeping it contested.
Prevail, equalizer, oh, and inside. Able to find the Claw just in the nick of time. Peg on the hunt with the Purifier. This kind of forces him out into the open, but it still works out for a double kill. Not done with the Claw yet is Zai, as he's able to combine a handful of eliminations and also gain a little bit of breathing room here. Wolves are not out of this. 20 seconds still to fight for. Godlike gonna give this a good old college try, see if they can find their way around the backside. Learn gets 2 before being shut down by a War Machine. Numbers not great for Godlike. Here comes the return for Wolves to the hill, but Learn and Trunks, they're still alive. Peg, last one left up top. Neither team could obviously win here, but it is really good news for Godlike to make Wolves really stretch on this rotation.
You effectively have to cut through the middle of the map in about a 6-second time. You have an operator in your back pocket if you are Xing. One operator at least available for Neutrino. Predator missile comes out, but Learn finds 2. The kills are going in Godlike's way.
They can pop the War Machine right here, just blow him out of the map. That's exactly what's going to happen. Gravity Vortex gun will focus on one side, War Machine on the other, and nobody from Wolves is going to be able to get into this hard point. Last couple of shots come out. Wolves individually trying to work their way on, but no, Godlike, after a slow start in the first 3 hills, never look back and take a convincing map 1 win.
Step 1 done for Godlike. As far as this best of 7 is concerned, that map 1 was everything for them to try to survive even longer. The rest of this map set looks pretty scary, all things considered, but I gotta say, the first set of hard points there in map number 1 was terrifying from Godlike's perspective. They were down considerably until we saw the end of P3 and then in towards P4, where they got a damn near full 60 off the operator usage. From there on out, it really felt like that they were extremely comfortable on the map.
And I have to say, kind of again, evaluating how Godlike play this map compared to other teams who have preferred it in the past, the best thing about that rotation from 3 to 4 is how quickly they were able to establish and force Wolves to spawn at the front doors at the 4th hard point. There was a couple of players that spawned up behind them, but they were quick to read it, and again, their operator usage was so well focused on where Wolves were coming from. A major map 1, not only because it starts you off on the right foot, but most importantly, that was Wolves' hard point pick. So, huge advantage when it comes to selecting your way through this series. 250, 186, and 53 kills from Trunks Heavens.
There was one thing I was worried about coming in towards this, watching LG and Godlike on the side. Were they going to be able to step up and slay with whatever Chinese team made it to the grand finals? I think this answers the question. I mean, barring some really strange,